the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Man Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo!
What's going on, good people? We are back once again. Man Talk Mondays. The award-winning, let me say the award-winning Man Talk Mondays is in
How
the
many
house.
award-winning? How many award-winning?
6 times, baby.
The people want to know.
6 times, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
BS3 Network, BS3 TV award-winning. Yeah, baby.
And we want to say thank you because, listen,
Couldn't do it without y'all.
as talented as I am, I still couldn't do it without y'all. We appreciate y'all and for every vote, for every person that voted, for every person that thought about voting. We really want to let you know we really appreciate you guys for that.
Oh, yeah. Y'all came through. Y'all showed much love. And y'all be shocked all the people. BS3 was like, hey, where all these people come from? Like, we got family, we got friends, man. We got people. So we good.
Real talk.
So we gonna hop into this. I'm gonna let everybody know this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships. But of course, we're doing it from a man's perspective. Now, keep in mind, it's not just for me. We want everybody to join in and participate in the conversation. Everybody's welcome. How you do this, you go in the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see this, and this is how you talk to us. But by all means, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you, right? So you join in the conversation with us, and that's what we want, right? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. We got our podcast. Of course, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. We are also on Apple, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, a whole host of different podcast platforms. You can go and you can check us out, the audio version of the podcast. We got a lot of great content out there. Just go check it out at your leisure. Whenever you got time, just go and check it out. Also, you can catch us on your TV screen. Right there on your TV screen. If you got a Roku device or a Roku TV, you can catch us at BS3 TV on Roku, the BS3 TV channel on Roku. We're part of the BS3 Network family. A lot of great podcasts, a lot of great content. Just go to the channel and then just check it out. Think you'll find something that you like, right? Also, if you don't have the Roku TV or the Roku device, you can check us out on your computer. We have a direct web link that allow you to watch it on your computer. It's bs3tvlive.com. bs3tvlive.com. You can catch us right there on your computer. But by all means, holla at your boys. Holla at your boys. We want to hear from you. We got a great show for you tonight. We're going to get into some good conversation. But before we get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen,
I want to talk about John Gray this evening, a fellow Christian brother. John, you need to find a new hobby because you bad at cheating. I ain't never seen nobody who get caught every time they cheat. Listen, from one believer to another, we need to concentrate on something else. Everybody love booty, John. You don't have to try to find and get all that you can, John. And see, I don't really want to get on here and talk about you, because that devil will be at my door and I had to keep the door locked and go out the back. So I'm just going to say this. Get some help, man. Get some help. Talk to somebody. Because I know the booty be calling you because obviously you got a problem. I know it calls. I know sometimes you just got to hide under your bed so it can stop calling you. But you bad at it. You, brother, you might as well be walking around with your pants down because that's how bad you are at it. Get some help, brother. Get some help. Get some help for you and your family before you ruin probably a really good marriage that you could have. And that's my man talk about it comment. That just please everybody, can y'all stretch your hands to John and say, John, keep your hands off yourself and pull your pants up, please, right now. Bye 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 bye. Okay, there we go.
Hey man, I think it's a distress call. I really think it's a distress call. I think this. Listen, you gotta know after the first couple of times, people watching you now.
Well, after the first couple times, you're right, but also, I believe warning comes before destruction. I believe he got his warning, like, hey, bro, listen, at this level of prayer, this is what we can't do. Because if you get caught every time, every time, brother, you bad. You need to be a salesman or something. You bad at this thing. You are terrible at this, brother. Your pants. You must walk around with your pants unbuckled. Brother, I ain't seen nobody get caught like you, brother. Goodness gracious. Go ahead.
You know what it is, man. It's clear that the man is very talented. He's a very talented speaker. He speaks very well. And I think that's probably one of the biggest problems that we have in Christendom, where we just put people in positions because of talent. And it's really more about character than talent. I don't think his character had been tested like this before. This man was thrust into the limelight, and you got to be ready for that.
You probably shouldn't say thrust, though. You probably should say He's walking.
Well, he was put on this.
Dude, I'm just saying, you should probably talk about what your hobbies are and what you enjoy before you dude, because that is, first of all, that's a really big step to be pastoring a bunch of people, because ultimately God is the example, but you are the representative, and that's just that is a terrible look. That is a terrible look. You
done been on some of the biggest stages in Christendom. You done been on T.D. Jakes' stage. You done been on Joel Osteen's stage. You've been on all these big stages. And with those stages come a certain amount of attention that if you have never been in that place before, man, you don't know what you in for.
And see, that's the problem. See, John is fooling himself. Let me just, from one brother that used to be very, 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 very attractive to a brother that's on the other side of that, John, you need to stop playing. John, you need to stop playing, because you looking at yourself, you know they ain't with you because you hot. They with you about what you got.
Right.
And you don't have people in your life that are telling you. See, man, a marriage is only as good as the people that are surrounding the marriage. I believe you say it takes a village to raise kids. It takes a marriage to keep us together. It takes a village to keep us married, because you got to have positive influences around you at all times.
You said a mouthful, brother. You said a whole lot, which leads us to the great conversation we want to have tonight, because both of us, we had the great experience of being in a group of people, being with a group of people, doing life with a group of people that has helped us in our marriages. That has been a tremendous help. So we wanted to bring on our support group tonight, right? Tonight we talking about a couple of forevers, right? When you do marriage, you want to do it for the long haul. So we want to bring in our esteemed guests tonight. Our esteemed guests. Up first, we have the Davises.
What?
You got the Davises. What's going on, good people?
No. Yes, bringing it in right. Start with the Davises. What's up, everybody?
What's going on? Thanks for being here. Next up, we have the Loves. We
Loves
have
in the
the
house.
Loves in the house.
Loves in
What's
the house.
happening?
What's going on, y'all? Thank y'all for joining us too.
Man, we're
Also,
guys.
rounding out the bunch, we got the Fergusons.
Ferguson's in the house.
We got the Fergusons in the house. And also, of course, we have our wives. The doc is in the house. And the woman that keeps John in line.
Who tried? She tried to.
She tried
I'm kind of hard.
Sorry.
So we have our wives with us tonight too. We talk about a couple of forevers. We're talking about a couple of forevers. I remember this quote. I had to look it up to see actually who said it, and it was S. Kelly Harrell. She says, "We don't heal in isolation, but in community. We don't heal in isolation, but in community." How has it been having a group of people that you can do this thing called life with? A group of people, like John said, that accountability, the people to look after you, help keep you up. How has it been? Anybody want to take it on? How has it been for you?
Anybody?
You go, John. You go.
Okay. I talk all the time, man. I was hoping that some other people wanted, because I talk all the time. But anyway, man, it's been. You know, it's funny. You don't never know you need other people until other people are in your life for different things. You know, it's funny because everybody in the group basically serves a different purpose for us or to us. I remember before Tanya and Reggie got married, me and Reggie developed a friendship to where I was calling him when he was back home in Arkansas. Yeah. Now, when I met him, I had no idea that I would be calling him when he was in Arkansas, but God put it on my heart, and I would call him. Yeah. And kept talking to him until he got to Dallas, and now he won't stop calling me.
Let's be honest, y'all all call each other because y'all always on the phone with each other early in the morning, talking loud.
True.
Yeah.
Can I add to what John is saying too? It always, for me, it makes us feel that we're not alone in this walk.
Yeah.
You know, we all have similar issues. They may not be the same, but there may be some similarities that of some things that we can all talk about and talk out with, when you're not thinking that you're just by yourself and whatever it is that's going on, good or bad. It could be something good or bad, but you're not alone.
And you know, I want to piggyback off of Cheryl. It gives you, when you're in with a group of friends, it allows you to be honest and open, and you know, we can be real with each other. We all make mistakes. You know, hey, there's been plenty of mistakes I've made, and I'll call any one of these gents. Well, I've been spoke to a couple of sisters as well that, hey, am I wrong for this? Should I say this? Am I gonna get slapped upside the back of my head?
That's how it started though. Reggie will call. He'll be like, "Hey man, tell me if I'm wrong," and that's how he started. "Hey man, tell me if I'm wrong." Be like, "Okay, man."
Every time. That's how the conversation always starts. Every time. Mm-hmm. But I remember. I just thought about this. I remember when me and Reggie were becoming close friends. I was on the phone with him, and I used to have a really bad habit of cursing, and I was trying to stop. So I remember you know how God kind of did with you, like, son, you need to stop. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop. And somebody had pulled in front of me, and they jammed on their brakes, and I was like, you blank. And I got so much into it that I forgot I was on the phone. And to where I looked down at the phone and I saw Reggie's name, and I wanted to hang up the phone without even saying that. I was so embarrassed. And I just hear him. He just was laughing. I just hear him. I'm like, man, I'm so sorry, dude. See, I could be real with him because he didn't go and tell everybody at the church. They would have put me out and all that. Man, I was pretty bad, man. But yeah, I'll never forget that, bro. Never forget that. He won't let me forget either. He won't let me forget either. Yeah.
So I feel like we're the newest to this whole group. You know, I'm not going to get into great details about why we're so new, but they used to hang out with each other all the time. And then
Yeah.
my husband started hanging out with them. And then I think they had to try to figure out if I was like, you know, going to be a part of the group and everything. But, you know, now we get the invites and everything. But this group is like really, really special. And I know for sure that, you know, this group in particular has been really instrumental in, you know, helping Nathan and I out, you know, with marriage and stuff like that. Just like, you know, going through things and celebrating the celebrations and, you know, praying with us when we're having our lows and things of that sort. And it's a really supportive group. I've always wanted a group like this since I watched Why Did I Get Married? Y'all remember that, the first one? And they were out, you know, in Colorado traveling and stuff. And I always wanted something like that. And then, you know, once I got with the church and everything and realized, oh, woo, we have that already. And it's so special because everybody's like, you know, sharpening iron sharpening iron. Right. And so I feel like everyone has something to contribute. Everyone in this group challenges each other. We help to inspire one another and support one another. And, you know, it's really special.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like the fact that you mentioned challenging each other because when I came into the picture, Marsha was already that single person that's just kind of mingling around. And so when I came into the picture, I was like, oh my goodness, they're pushing each other. I mean, they're talking about taking their marriages and their lives and their careers to the next level. And it was a little intimidating. But once I relaxed and really just ingrained myself into it, it really motivated me and pushed me to another level. So community is so important. I appreciate everybody here.
Absolutely. And that's why we really love community, because if you have somebody in your life that never disagrees with you, they always tell you everything you're doing is right, then you're probably hanging around the wrong set of friends, because that's one of the things that we ask of our group, is that we want to make sure that we're honest with each other, because we're not always right. I've had my hand slapped a couple of times, but if John hit it again, we're gonna have some problems.
Let me explain.
Oh, let me give Mika. Mika said, beautiful panel with some amazing people and perspectives. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mika. We got our people rolling in now. Thank y'all for being here. Listen, and Tosh, I got a question, because like you said, we were all friends. Gerard, I remember when we met Gerard. I remember we met him, and he's like,
he was scared.
I'm gonna bring him over. We was all sitting there waiting the whole night.
Everybody was on time. Now we always trickle in late to events.
I'm always the one that was on time, and I get there in time.
Everybody. I was on 2 wheels trying to get there.
Yep.
We weren't invited. We weren't in the group.
Okay.
We don't love. We have to hear like everybody else has to hear about it.
Well, that was a long time ago, before we had formed these beautiful relationships that we have with y'all.
Yeah.
But I just, but Tarsha, how important was that you bringing Gerard to the into the group and, you know, introducing him to everybody? How important was that for you?
Can I just say, before she answers, she told us that he was 6 something.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm so sorry.
But I realized when you 5'2", everybody is 6 something.
I'm gonna get it. No,
but her attitude 6'2".
There you go.
No, exactly. It was really important for me. I had spent, to your point, I had spent a lot of time with this group without a husband or without a boyfriend, and so having the opinion of my friends whom I had watched for years in their marriage, you know, things to do, things not to do, what to say, how to act. And so that was really important for me to bring somebody in, and for them, everybody, to just kind of talk to him, not really, you know, interrogate him, but really they were questioning, trying to get to know him, because you all knew me and you wanted to make sure that I wasn't overlooking something that was very important. And it was great for me.
Yeah, there was no interrogating. It was all, Tarsha, you better not mess this up.
It was a lot of that.
Because I was going to ask you, Gerard, what was that like for you though, coming into that?
Yeah.
Like
the whole time I was waiting for that big brother figure to step in and give me that speech and tell me about, hey, we're not sure if you can stick around. But the community aspect kicked in, and everyone was still molding Tarsha to make sure whatever her habits were before when she was single didn't bleed over, and she made sure she gave this a good chance. Well, that was a lot of support.
Hey, Samantha says, hey, everybody, love y'all. You guys really helped me. And prayerfully, one day I can be on this panel. Wow. That's huge.
Well,
Kenny Lawson said, y'all sound like a gang to me. Hey, Kenny, all I got to say is, Kenny, don't run up. Don't run up. Don't run up.
But really, I think what was so beautiful about our relationship is that it all started organically. Like, I think Derek and John got close. Me and Tanya were getting close. And so the relationships kind of fell together with the spouses or with the couples organically. And then we were able to trust each other enough to where we would be able to be vulnerable with each other. Because it didn't start off like that. We didn't start off, you know. And then I think the misconception is because a lot of people, especially the older people, they say, keep people out your marriage. You know, don't tell nobody but what's going on in your marriage. Your marriage is your marriage, which is true. But I think that there's kind of like a caveat to that. If you think about back in the day, they used to always say kids should be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily true anymore, right? And so I think that the progression of that is that we keep each other in our marriages, but not like the messy parts, you know? And so we're able to be able to run something by, like Reggie said, run something by each other. Like, am I tripping about this? But it's not necessarily airing dirty laundry. Wow. And so that's not what this group is about. You know, this group is all about holding each other accountable and lifting each other up in tough times, but also being there to applaud each other, you know, in the good times. And so I love that about our relationship, because we just do life together. Yeah. You know, good or bad, we do life together.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And I think it really just kind of started off as we were just kind of hanging around each other. And at some point,
that's who we went to the cabin with this weekend.
Oh, Miss CC Lowe. She says, I'm wondering why the Lowe's were not included.
They will be on part two.
They'll be on part two. Monique said, I love that point, Selena. She said, I love that point. Anthony says, key word is trust. You got to find the right people to trust. And Anthony brings out a good point. Developing that trust. How was that process for you guys as far as developing that trust?
Trish.
Right, because I'm the one.
You raised your hand.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I didn't see that.
So for me, trust is big, and I knew that I could trust this group when I said, y'all come on over to my house. And so they came over, and I was like, you know, I don't really do a whole bunch of people in my house and things like that. And the last time that Derek and Selena came over my house, they came over unannounced in a sense. And I knew that I trusted these people because I did not care what kind of condition my house was looking like. And they got all of the raw nitty gritty. And I was like, whatever, just come on in.
But vulnerability don't just lie in situations. It lies in our whole lives. Like, we are literally vulnerable with each other.
Right. We are, like, when I say naked with my feelings, it really has become that kind of situation with this group, because, like, I don't really have I guess this is my only married couple kind of like friendship group. You know, most of my other friends are single. So this is the group that I feel like is in there and supports my marriage, and there's a spiritual balance to it, and there's a real realness with everyone. And I feel like everyone if I need to go to one specific person, that I know that that person is going to give me what I need and not what I want.
Yep.
That's good. Well, I'm gonna ask the loves. How important is it to have that trust? How important would you say is it to have that trust with the friendships and stuff?
Oh, it's definitely important. What I love about this group is when I share something, I know it's going to stay right here. I ain't got to worry about hearing my business down the street, you know. And I love that I can trust each and every one of you. I can pick up the phone and I can literally call each one of you and know that you're going to have my back, know that you're going to say something positive, but what I need to hear to build me up. Yeah. And not just build me up, you know, just keep me going. And I don't know, I just love y'all.
Love you too. Every time we see Tanya, she had like she ain't seen us in 6 months. She just be dancing and so happy.
My friend, yeah.
I think what was like my fondest memories of just our group in general, because what reminded me of that was when Trish talked about why did I get married? Because we started having these why did I get married type pillow talk events, I guess you will, around Valentine's Day every year until the pandemic messed us up a little bit. Right. But it would be literally like pillow talk where, and we didn't necessarily air dirty laundry, but we had questions to where it's like, if you're struggling with an issue, how do you as a couple handle it? And so then we're able to share just different tools and strategies to use in our marriages of how to handle a difficult situation and just how to do it, not necessarily what the situation was, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And then there was accountability. Right. I mean, there's accountability to it too. It's like everybody, let's go around the room and talk about what do you need to work on for yourself in order to make sure that you are bringing a healthy marriage. And so it can't be nothing. And so each of us had to go around the table and talk about what are those things that we need to do within ourselves to cleanse ourselves to make our better marriage. And then after that, it's the follow-up from an accountability perspective, because we have our group message and then the guys have theirs and the girls have, and we have our accountability pieces where we're asking, hey, did you do what you were supposed to do to make sure that you're good? So, and that's important. That was good.
I think go ahead, Slim. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I was in a training this morning and the lady said that people are 97% more productive when they have someone holding them accountable. And I was thinking, like, our marriages are 97% more productive than they would be if we didn't have each other, because we literally have each other's back and hold each other accountable.
Just some of the some of the successes that we've had. I just remember Reggie when he was a bank manager. He was wanting to be a commercial lender. We were all praying about that. We got a baby with Tanya. We got a husband with Tasha. We got
and a business.
And a business with Tasha. And I just remember us praying together about a lot of things that we had on our what's the paper?
It was the
vision board.
Vision board.
The vision board. We had vision board. Yeah. Pray and watching that stuff come to pass, man, was simply amazing. We've laughed together. We prayed together. We've cried together. I mean, you couldn't.
And we look totally different than we did about 10 years ago. This group looks totally different.
Oh man.
I had one issue though when Tasha said about cleanse. So Cheryl gave us this tea to cleanse our body. And I'm not doing that no more, Cheryl. That's
the devil, man. That is the devil.
Cleanse your soul. Listen, I'm trying to clean everything up in this group.
We don't know about it because we weren't in the group.
You don't want to know about that tea.
We'll get you some tea. We'll get you some tea now. I just know you better make sure it's a restroom close by before you
it's a stay-at-home tea.
Oh.
Listen, we were all on a health journey. And so I just was trying to help everybody out on their journey towards healing and health.
Yeah.
We love that.
What we trying to do, because I'm pretty sure there are some people out there, if they're married and they don't have, this type of friendship, how do you get there? How do you develop this type of camaraderie, this type of friendship with people? Because I tell people you won't recognize the value of your friends until you commit to your course. We all had something that we wanted to accomplish within our marriages, and having that support from other people. We just talked about the accountability by having a village. But somebody that's looking for this type of friendship, what advice would you give them from your perspective? What advice would you give them about how to, kind of locate their friend group?
I would say know what you're looking for. If you know what, and being honest with yourself, what am I looking for in this type of relationship with your friends? If you want a yes person, that's not what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a yes person, but you're not gonna get quality. You're not gonna get what you really need from it. So you need somebody that's going to not be afraid to tell you the truth. Not be afraid to say, hey, I like Reggie said, tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm thinking this wrong. Be honest with me because I really want your honest opinion. And so if you really want, I think it's something like that. You have to know what it is that you're really looking for or looking to get from the group.
Yeah,
and I think what Tarsha did, I think, is powerful because what she really did ultimately, I mean, I want her to speak on it, of course, but like fade into black and watching people, like watching how they move as far, because I'm sure if we were a bunch of foolish couples, she would have been like, oh no, I'm not trying to be with that group because they don't have it. Because to be honest, where we were when we met each other, there were many couples there. You know what I'm saying? Many groups of people that hung together. And so being able to fade to black and kind of watch and see, like-minded people or like-minded spirits, and you're like, okay, I want what they have, you know what I'm saying? Or want to be a part of what's going on there. Because if you just jump into any group with friends, that's when you start like, oh Lord, no, and then you have to back out of the group, it's just a lot. And so I think being really watchful, and then like Cheryl said, knowing what you want, and so you can see in another group what aligns with what you want.
Yes, you want to touch it.
Oh, she go. Before she go, Cheryl used to be cooking, and Tasha would try to be slick.
Why he always?
She would sit on the bar stool closer to Cheryl, and every time Cheryl do something, she told her Tasha be like this.
I was writing it down. The only reason John is still here is because of Cheryl. I just want everybody to know that. It was really, you have to be able to trust those individuals. I mean, don't force it, Like to Selena's point, there were a lot of couples around, but I just kind of, it was, there's some really integrity amongst our group. And I wanted to make, and the relationships were just organic to me. It was, I didn't force it. I didn't have an agenda. I was just in the cut, just chilling. And everyone made me feel comfortable, asked me what I was looking for, what I wanted, how I was going to do it, all types of things. It was a great time. I mean, I got mad a lot of times. One time, I'm going to say it now. John said, yes, there was that one time.
We're going to get into that one time.
But it was great. I mean, it is. You just don't call up your neighbors tomorrow and say, you know what, I've been watching y'all drive home from work every day, and I just want to hang out with my husband. You just, if you don't know him, it may not work. So get to know him.
Right.
And there's a lot of fake friends out there. Some get next to you to see what they can get from you.
That is true.
And it takes time. You got to give it time. And I think a lot of people start with just hanging out. But as you're hanging out, you're getting to know people. At some point, the relationship is going to be tested. Life is going to happen for some people in that group. And it's about how the rest of the group responds that lets you know that these are my people. These are the people that's really there for me. They're the people that really care about me. They really love me, because this thing happened and I didn't have to walk through it by myself. Everybody didn't retreat when they saw me going through this particular thing. And you got to give it time.
But D, you fighting though. And this what y'all, do y'all understand? how easy it is for men all to get together like this, but to bring 5 women on here and they hang out and they do stuff together, that is difficult because women don't generally fool with other women,
bruh.
and they see what we have a lot, what men have. And I know my wife used to say all the time, I want what you guys say. Well, first you got to get the frown off your face and be more friendly.
I'm frowning at him.
But I'm so serious because I know Trish. I'm trying to think I'm trying to think of how Trish and Nate came to the group. But I remember we were at dinner, and it was Valentine's Day because y'all anniversary is on Valentine's Day. And
Look at you.
and I remember that. So Rico and them was there.
Right.
And I remember them saying something about it's y'all anniversary on Valentine's, and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of neat. And it's funny because we used to make small conversation in passing, but we never really talked. And I think the more we were around them, the more it was like, they seem like they're pretty cool. Because most of the time, I'm real funny about people. I'm like, I look at somebody in a minute and be like, I don't like them. No, I don't like them.
You talk to everybody.
But I do, but I don't like everybody though. I don't. I wish that's as honest as I can be. So I remember when we were. And this is how you know you trust people. So I was at church one time, and before I was able to get my diamonds, I used to put other earrings in my ear. One time I had a red one, and I would have a blue one. It would match something on me. And so Trish don't know this, but Trish had looked at it one day, and she wanted to say something to me, and she didn't. But Selena wasn't gonna let me make it. She said, "Hey man, hey, what you doing? What doing up with all the colors?" And it kind of hurt my feelings when she told me, and I wanted to get mad at her, but I figured
she got mad at me, but I ain't care.
Well, never mind. Y'all go.
I'm just saying, we so honest with each other. And listen, we do not get in arguments, and I wouldn't say amongst the women. But now me and John will get in
two or three times. We'll
get into it. Yeah. And he'll be like, you still ain't talking to me? No, I'm not talking to you right now. But we are so much alike. And it's crazy. That's like weird. Me and John are so much alike. Tanya and Derek are so much alike. We just have these, I don't know, we just be so aligned or whatever. And so I was not going to let my brother be walking around here with these colored earrings on. And I said, boy, if you don't get some clear something, stop wearing these red and yellow. And he looked at me like I cussed him out.
I felt like you had cussed me out.
He thought he was sharp.
But like, sure, we blame you. You let him walk out the door.
You can't tell him he was sharp.
All right, break it up.
Just left Claire's boutique. He had got him a 6-pack of earrings.
That's what he was wearing.
6-pack.
That's what he was wearing. And I literally, if I didn't care, I'd have let you walk around. I'd have been talking about you to Derek. Like, did you see that?
I remember that conversation too. I was like, thank you, Jesus.
But no, that's important to have people who, like she said, they won't wait till they get off to themselves and then talk about you, but they feel it's comfort enough to come to you and say, what's going on, man? What you doing? Right. That's huge. Yeah. That's huge. And I know because John's talking about the women. For the guys, man, we do a lot together. We had prayer call, especially during the pandemic. We had our prayer call, and every Thursday morning we was on the prayer call. Guys on there, we pray and we talk. We talk about life, talk about things. We take our trip. We take a trip every year just to kind of get the guys together. And it's important to have guys around you that's about the same things as you about.
I don't want to hear about that trip.
Did I open up a can of worms? My bad.
I got a question. So on Thursday morning, there was a prayer call. I mean, y'all was going to the Rock. The prayer call started at 7 and it didn't end until noon. We were praying.
At noon.
And that is so real. That is so true.
Like, can
Yeah.
I walk in, he doing this.
Listen, I used to go to work. I'd be calling there, and he not answering. I'm like, why he not answering? Oh, it's Thursday.
Yeah,
I forgot. If I keep calling, he'll call back like, it's Thursday. I'm like, listen, I got an emergency.
Yeah, he locked in the closet.
I was in the prayer closet.
Yeah. We can't, I guess, overlook the fact that we did also meet on common ground. We all met, at the church. So I think maybe they gave us our common ground kind of thing going on that, we were all seeking something spiritually too. And that kind of interconnected us. And you can feel when there's a genuineness with that walk. And I know for me, coming into the group I was a little apprehensive only because I just didn't.
A little apprehensive.
Like a whole bunch. I was like, I don't know about
I don't think you signed your name on the application.
I didn't sign anything. Taking the Kool-Aid, he drank it, he had a whole bottle of it, and he was like, here.
I got 4 fellas I can call on to go.
Hey man, that's real. That's real.
And
that's
so
real.
I'm like, I don't know.
I'm all in, man.
My daddy had been trying to get me to go up to Trish and talk to her. He was like, the girl is your Sarah. She a Delta. Don't you talk to all Deltas? I was like, Daddy, she don't really look like she want me to talk to her.
You in there man dogging at church and everything.
And so I would go and be like, hey, Sarah. She like, hey. And so one day my dad was like, okay, I'm doing their wedding. You need to come with me to their wedding. And I was like, Dad, you can't be inviting folks to people's wedding. They got to pay per head. I'll meet her, later. I'll talk to her later. And every time I would, we would talk, but it would be like she was like, I don't really know about you yet. Because first of all, she thought I was way younger than her.
Right.
Which is not true. And she was like, when we first started talking and we would go out with each other to meet up with each other, she was like, I can't believe I'm actually friends with you and talking to
you. well, hold on. Now, I would have never thought you would have been friends with Tasha.
Oh, right. Because LaTarsha, when I first met her, she was very like, hey. Yes. I need my son in this group, and let's get to it. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
What about the tapes, Salida? What about the tapes? See, that's what I'm talking
about. Oh yeah. Okay, so let me tell you about LaTarsha when I first met. So she was going to the church for a while, but we saw us as well. But so I was in the I was not in the tape ministry. I was in the AV ministry, and so my job was just to produce the church, the goings-ons of the church, not show, but the program. But I had nothing to do with the CDs. But the CD place was next to where I sat. Yes, and so she was over the CDs, or she sold the CDs after church. And so at the end of, at the very end of church, when it was about to be over, she would come to me because she needed the CDs so that she could make the tapes to sell the CDs after church. And she would come back there and go, where the CDs? And I'm like, hey girl, I don't do the CDs. I work, this part. I just produce the program. The CDs over here, I don't really know who does that, but I'm not over there. And so she's like, run me my CDs. Like, girl, I don't do the CDs every Sunday. Like it was like every Sunday when I see her get out and walk through the pews with her suit jacket on. And I'd be like, oh, here she comes.
I'm a Berkeley Yellow, Strength Finder C. I am all of those things organized. And the pastor said after church, go back there. He didn't say
I said, not here though. You gotta go over there.
I was just trying to get my CD so I can just serve the people of the Lord.
All you knew was
Listen,
it was there, right? Latasha, she said just go
She
there.
was there. She was like neighbors with the tape ministry. So
I would do this over there. When she started walking back, I'd be like, "What's over there?" She didn't care if it was nobody to know. She come to me, run me my CDs. It got to the point when I see her coming, I just started doing this and go behind.
yeah,
But then I learned that she was cool after that.
I really am.
This,
You needed somebody to settle her down.
And that's
yeah.
you.
All right. We got a question. Stephen Powell, he says, what steps do you recommend for couples trying to meet other couples that are married? What would y'all suggest for Stephen? What is you trying to meet other couples that are married? Because you can run into some mess, boy. You can run into some
But I think if y'all foundation, if the foundation is the same, like like at a church, where people are at least trying to do right, or at least appear to be trying to do right, I think it's easy. But I think you got to have a common ground where you can meet on. You need something like that to meet on.
Because you're not gonna find the couple in the club. You know what I'm saying? Because conversations with people that are coupled up. Right. And even just coupled up. Like if you go to a lot of couples retreats that different churches have, they have different couples events, or even like if you're a child, if you have children, if they have parents that, or they have friends whose parents are married, just finding couples who are like-minded with you, who do the things you do, because we're real. I don't want to say like we're faith people, we're spiritual people, we go to church and things like that, but we also kick it. And so we won't do well amongst people who are extra churchy and extra religious, because that's not what we are. You know what I mean? And so you have to find people who are like-minded like you. Like we love Jesus and we kick it too. And so all of us are like that.
We kick it though. Yeah, you're not gonna outdance Tanya. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't care. You're not gonna outdance Tanya.
Yeah, we know all the line dances and everything. So anytime there's a party line dance going on, people hitting the floor. People hitting the floor. But I think starting with a foundation of faith is important, because with faith, you start to get to the core of what's really important to people. And eventually you'll get to the place where you see whether they just are really about hanging out or they're really about doing life, being better, having better marriages. I mean, just better lives, period. You'll start to see eventually who's really serious about that. And I mean, we've been blessed to have, it's 5 couples. It might not be 5 couples for you. It might be 2 couples. It might just be another couple. But the important thing is to have solid people.
Yes.
And that's the important thing. That's one thing I could say about the people in our friend group. They're solid people.
Yeah.
When I say solid, they really genuinely care about you. They want what's best for you. They're going to support you in life, and the things that you got decisions that you're making. You got life changes that are happening, whether it's good or positive, negative, good or bad. They're there to ride with you. They help you move.
I just thought about that. Been
a lot of moving in this group.
A lot of moving.
Yes.
Well, you sure right. Well, you sure.
And another thing, we have over 75 years collectively of marriage. So there's a wealth of information in this group, that we share with each other. And like someone said earlier, iron sharpens iron. That's not just in our marriages, in our businesses, in our careers, we sharpen each other, in our families, of course. But I think what's good about our group is that when we put something out there, whether it's, what we're going through, positive or negative, we know that our return is going to be something that's for our well-being. Like nobody's just going to say anything to sugarcoat anything for us, because we are 100% real with each other.
Yes.
And
I love that about.
And one thing that I love about our group as well is, of course, we don't talk about it when we go through those hard times, when life hits us hard, and they say men not supposed to cry, and I didn't cry on a lot of shoulders of these guys in this group right now because of the time. And you need guys and ladies to be understand and say, you know what, don't tell you not to cry, but sometimes you just need that hug, that shoulder just to cry on. And these people's always been there for us through those times. So You know, we laugh, we joke, but it's been a lot of times that this group has definitely, you know, picked each other up through those times of difficulty.
Mhm.
But can I say to I guess I can't remember Mr. Powell's question. It's similar to like what the guy that asked the question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's similar to what Latasha did. You have to kind of sit and watch people that you want to be around. You have to watch people, watch their character, watch how they are. If that's somebody that you think that you want to be around, I think that's where you should start. At least looking towards the type of people you want to be around.
And you got to start with being a genuine person yourself.
Absolutely.
I think the more genuine you are, you begin to attract genuine people.
Yes. Yeah.
And the people who are disingenuous, they will not stick around.
Yeah.
They won't stick around.
Yeah.
Because when you start trying to do real life with people, man,
it gets ugly.
Yeah.
Well, just let me say that again. We don't always agree.
Right.
We don't always agree. I remember early when me and Reggie were friends. We kind of got into it, and then we kind of hugged it out afterwards and went up to the house and act like nothing, you know, because we understand that we're not going to always agree. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree, but I don't never remember us doing that though.
It's like a brotherhood and sisterhood. It's just like with your own sibling or whatever.
Exactly.
You may clash, but it doesn't stop the love. It doesn't stop.
Well, but because ultimately you know and understand that everybody has my best interest at heart. I understand that y'all not going to tell me nothing that's going to be harmful to me or my relationship with Cheryl. As a matter of fact, y'all probably tell me you need to go sit down somewhere. And
multiple.
Couple of seats.
Yeah, because you know, John was saying like the Cowboys gonna win a Super Bowl.
Oh man!
Oh man! Oh man!
Oh, you just cut him deep right there.
Oh my bad. I'm sorry.
You're wrong, brother. You're wrong, man. You're wrong.
I love that one time, like I was going through, and I know we all have struggles, but this particular struggle, me and Reggie shared. And so I was just really going through. I was like all in my feelings one day, and all of a sudden he texted me and just said, "I just wanted to let you know, like we praying for you," and just gave me a little word. I'm getting emotional right now. A little word of encouragement, and I was like, "How you know I was going through right now?" And so I like the way that like God uses us to help each other in the moments when we need it most.
Yeah. And I will say, in some of those quiet moments, I have received phone calls, visits, text messages from people in this group that, you know, is never like publicly broadcast. Like people just don't know, you know, like I've received some stuff that like pulled me through the fire. So
I remember we was at Nate's graduation. Remember that?
What graduation?
When they graduated, when he got with the college thing, it was with it was at the church. We went to the church and we saw y'all, and I said we can remember. Oh, you didn't go? Did you go? No, that was Anita. Anita, my boss, was getting her degree, and we went and Nate, when we saw Nate, I said, well, we can't shake them. We keep running into them everywhere. Yeah.
You know what I remember when we all went to support John at that.
Don't you do that?
We didn't laugh, y'all. We did not
support John, because that's one thing we do. We do show up for each other. If somebody's doing something, we always show up for them and support them. But John was in a speaking competition.
Oh yeah,
we all showed up to support him in some kind of way. He was tripping and he missed a step.
The step was long. One of the steps was longer, you know. I don't remember.
There were not even steps.
I just remember falling as I was looking at them trying to get to my seat, and I was looking, and once I and everybody was sitting there looking like this as I was falling, and when I it was so embarrassed. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. Oh.
We checked on them and then we laughed.
Now, Stephen has an interesting question. He says, what if we are the youngest couple in the church? It's kind of difficult to relate. Now, when you say the youngest couple, like what kind of age difference are we talking about? Because it's really not about age, it's about experiences. And although, you know,
big age gap. Don't we got a big age gap?
There's a
Yeah,
huge
about 20
age
to
gap
30
between
years
some of
between
us.
some of
Yeah.
And
But-
so I know Black doesn't crack, so we all look like we're in the same age group, but we really do have at least a 20-year difference in some of our ages.
Who the youngest? Who the
Nah,
youngest? Who the youngest?
Nate is the youngest.
Nate.
He the baby.
Okay.
But I think he was asking as far as like in the church.
Yeah.
But we started off in the church, and so even so like there's an age difference between, let me say, like me and John. There's a huge age gap.
like that, bro.
One time when they were moving, they had movers come and they asked me, they said, "Can you go
Oh,
tell your
Lord.
dad? Tell your dad to come here." I was like, "My dad?" I was like, "Dad?" Movers would like to talk to you. But there is there's an age difference between all of us, and we met at the church, you know, so that we still had that foundation. But it's just because even though they're older, we still had a lot of things in common. We still line dance, we still kick it, we still enjoy, you know, church and building with each other. We're trying to, you know, try to build businesses, and we had vision board parties. All of our things that we were doing were aligned, even though there's an age gap. You just have to find somebody who's aligned with you and like with where you're trying to go and what you're doing right now.
And not necessarily at the same church.
Yeah.
Right. We all attend the same church now. Right.
Yeah. And I think to Stephen's point, you may have to find another church. You may have to find a church that's, I mean, if the age difference is that bad to where you can't relate to the people, you may need to find somewhere where there are more people closer to your age that, you know, kind of more like-minded. So that growth factor, y'all can grow together, y'all can go through life together, but y'all got to be headed in the same direction. When I say head in the same direction, you want to get better. You're really trying to actually be better. So that's key. That's important. Wow, this went fast, man.
It's good.
This went fast. So let's wrap it up. Final thoughts, and we'll start with the Davises.
All right. So our final thoughts are, when I think about couple of forevers, I think about how one stays together. For the two of us, we learned that we are different. So we celebrate each other's differences. I wouldn't say extreme anymore, but he's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. And so one of the things, you know, that I do is I make sure that I give him his time, because I know he gives me a lot of his energy. And for introverts, you know, they need to have their time. And so we've learned quickly that we have to, in a marriage, it's important to die within yourself so that you can be able to serve your spouse. And that's exactly what we do.
Yeah, and it allows us to learn from each other. It makes both of us better. So it strengthens the marriage.
That's good stuff. Let's hear from the Loves.
I think trust. Learn to continue to hold on to your trust in your friends. Learn to be able to take criticism when you are wrong. Be able to understand that we all make mistakes. You know, we learn as we grow with our group and our friends, our true friends. I'm not going to say friends, our brothers and sisters, that they have our back no matter what. And we learn to love them and they learn to love us. So just be thankful and continue to trust your friends.
Yeah.
And your brothers and sisters, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
Well, I think the title is just really good. A couple of forevers. I think, you know, as being married couples, you know, you just got to be all in, work it out together. But obviously understand that as a group, we all need each other. I mean, good, bad, you know, times of whatever you're going through, you know, just to be there for each personal experience. That you need your brother to lean on, and also you need your sister to lean on, because it's good to grow as individuals, but also as a group, but also have the foundation of kingdom principles to it, mind, because obviously you want to grow a godly marriage and also be surrounded by yourself with godly people. So iron sharpens iron. So I would just have to say, keep God first, keep your friends Pick out friends that couple has that same kind of core value of kingdom minded, God first principles, and just enjoy one another and just make good memories, man.
You want to talk about?
Yeah, I'll say. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to be able to come with a group of friends who are also like a family. So for that we can do all the things we shared earlier together, laugh, cry, just have fun, enjoy one another, and enjoy life. So yeah, we are that friends and family.
Family. That's good, baby. Right quick, I just want to say, just remember y'all talking to the 6-time award-winning people, and I just want to say sometimes your friends could be tighter to you than your family is. So don't push away. Just remember, love, and that's my final thought.
Listen, life is hard. Life is difficult in and of itself. And we need people. The Bible says in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. When you have good counselors, good counsel, people who you can trust to tell you the truth, people who you can trust to support you and be there for you, the chances of you doing life successfully increases. As my wife said earlier, accountability increases your success rate by 97%. Nobody goes into a marriage to fail. Nobody goes into life. They're not looking to fail. They want to succeed, but there means putting the right pieces in place, getting the right people around you. Listen, church is not the people that you see on Sunday. Those are people that you see at church. Your church are the ones that you do life with, the ones that are going to hold you to, as Nate said, those kingdom standards, those kingdom values, those core values, the ones who want to see you win, and they're going to support you in your wins and be there in your failures to make sure that the overall total sum of the whole thing is that you win. And we all want to win. This African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, take people with you. So make sure you take people with you on this journey called life. And that's our King Speaks for this week. Well, we like to thank all.
Yeah.
I just have to say something. Speaking of a win.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats. Well deserved.
See it all.
Yeah.
That's New Kids on the Block, BS3. We won that one. Funniest podcast, BS3 Network. Most consistent podcast, thank you all, BS3. Best podcast intro, shout out to Tony. Oh, I got to get it. And then best featured guest, thank you, Dr. Rod.
Dr. Rod.
And then, of course, the Big Daddy,
the granddaddy of them all.
Podcast of the year.
You better ask somebody.
You're gonna need another shelf here in a minute.
Thank you guys.
So thank you all, everyone who listens. Yeah. We appreciate you all.
Definitely appreciate the support. Appreciate the love.
Family.
We are
our family.
We are family. Like us.
Stephen said, thank you so much. Thank you for listening, Stephen. Definitely appreciate you being here with us tonight. Yes. Samantha says, great show. Absolutely. Let's win.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I can't play nobody else's music. I'll play that Khaled on them. All we do is win.
No worries. I'll play it when I'm.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll be back next week for more Man Talk Monday. So Come back next week and check us out.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please
Absolutely.
share this with your friends and family.
All right. We
Y'all
out.
leave.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.